Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. I am your host, Mike Larkin, and joining me tonight is adult star and content creator, the one, the only, Miss Amber Lee. How are you, Amber?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. First and foremost, it is a pleasure to have you on the show. I've seen a lot of your work and a lot of the content that you produce and a lot of the great scenes that you've been in. I gotta say, I like what I see. You do a hell of a job.
Oh, I thank you. Thank you.
You are very welcome. First and foremost, let's start it right there because one of the greatest art forms is the adult entertainment industry. It allows you to be sexy, allows you to showcase your creativity. It really just showcase your individuality. So I got to ask you, what kind of gravitated you towards the world of the adult industry as well as content creation?
Um, well, I devoted most of my life to my kids and my career, and I'm at a different point in life. So I was like, I really enjoy putting out really awesome stuff. I love working with other creators and stuff. So I'm like, what a more perfect time to do it now that I'm kind of just free of with some part of my schedule is a little more free than others. So I'm like, let me do it. And I jumped in. I enjoy like all aspects of it. So I'm just like, why not? Let's do this.
And I think that's the best way to even look at it. I think what's great about it now, too, I think from where we've come from the 80s, 90s, the 2000s, even the mid 2010s to now the 2020s, I think the adult entertainment industry, point in itself, has really evolved. What was once taboo, we see a lot of people really expanding their horizons, being more open minded. There's diversity, there's individuality. And I think that's key. I think in today's day and age, like the old saying goes, let your freak flag fly, so to speak. It's very. It is because it's like everybody's unique, right? Everybody has their different preferences, and everybody really gets to open up to it because it's like, who cares? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of people are still stuck in that. Oh my gosh, what are other people going to think of me? And we're super conditioned one way that all of this is, this is just blasphemy that we do this, but it's not. It's really not.
It's one of those things, and I always say this, and I think when people look at it like that, I'm like, you do realize, like anything in life, it's your brand, it's your business. You treat it like a business. There's so many factors that go into it. I think what everybody's common misconception is it's like, oh, you just lay there and then you have sex. It's like, no, there's editing, there's lighting, there's filming, there's getting the right angles, there's subtleties, intricacies, nuances, story. There's so much that makes the scene worth having and having that quote unquote sweet, sweet fantasy baby, to quote Mariah Carey and the late great ODB. There's so many layers that go into it that I think people don't realize because they're so fixated on, oh, it's just people having sex all the time.
Oh, absolutely. They don't realize that we have to go get tested every 2 weeks. We have to actually organize and schedule people. I mean, it's just it's the same as a regular film or TV production. I feel like it's a little more intricate only because you don't have all those hands available that you do on big sets or whatnot. Even in mainstream, you don't have half as many people as you do in like real film work, but you're still doing all the same stuff. You still have to have your lighting. You still have to have your scenes worked out. If you have a scripted scene you're about to do, you still have to memorize lines. I mean, it's not you just go in there, drop your clothes, and just get it on. It's definitely not like that. It's a little more organized. Well, you always hope it's more organized, but it's a lot more intricate. I mean, working with people in general is a really tough thing because you have to deal with different personalities. You have to deal with different people's brands and what they want for their brand and whether or not it's going to fit your brand. So there's just definitely a business aspect of it that people they have no idea. But then again, I mean, if they did, then maybe it would kind of ruin their fantasy. I'm not really sure.
Well, I think there's so many elements to go into it. I mean, it's not like, I mean, to quote even Gwen Stefani, you're not dropping your glasses and shaking your asses. I mean, you're blowing people's minds, but you're not necessarily just like, there's so many things that I've always found, like with porn, like the creative side of things even makes it worth it. Like I remember as a kid when you had scenes like For instance, Naughty America, you had your first sex teacher, your friend's hot mom. Who doesn't have a hot mom that they love? I mean, look at Fountains of Wayne in popular culture. You had Stacy's mom. She had it going on. And then you look at the teacher side of things, like Britney Spears is like the schoolgirl in the Baby One More Time, the Hot for Teacher, the Van Halen song from the 80s. So you're kind of mixing pop culture and blending into that sexual fantasy. And you're also really just appropriating what's going on. And you're really not only just following trends, but you're also trending in your own way of painting that canvas, so to speak, because it's what you are. We're all artists. We're just painting our canvases and masterpieces in our own way.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. I totally agree.
But that's how you have to look at it. And I think it's always one of these that I always put into perception here. The eye is the most beautiful thing ever, right? Our eyes and how we visualize things, right? It's all about how you view through the lens, folks. It's all about how you view for the proverbial lens, so to speak.
Yep. I think people really need to, I think what would help people is, you know, instead of scorning people or maybe going, oh my God, you're not supposed to do that, you know, like, don't be afraid to like talk to us, or, you know, you can always reach out on social media. You got questions you want to know about it? Ask somebody. I mean, I think in anything you do, I think people would be more apt to like, you got questions, you're really curious about it, like all of that stuff. So maybe you don't feel so, I don't know, scorned that if they're interested in it. Talk to somebody about it, because most likely you have a very close perception of the industry, because a lot of it is very much promotion. It's marketing. It's how we put ourselves out there. We're public figures. We have to put ourselves out there a certain way. We have to do so much to kind of grab people's attention. You know, so there's more to it, and people, if they just talked about it, I guess that would help.
No, you said it beautifully and eloquently there, my dear friend. I mean, I look at it from a stance too. Like, never in life, folks, go without not asking questions. If you have a question, ask. Don't be afraid. And I mean, I look at it from a stance like this when it comes to the adult side of things. We mentioned the creativity aspect. How important is that for you even going into the scenes? Because there's two types of scenes. There's fans that love the storytelling that goes into the scene. Like, for instance, back in the day, maybe cheesy. I mean, literally, when I mentioned this, like you had big sausage pizza, right? It was just like hole in the pizza, boom, here's where the sausage, pun intended, goes. You have a sex scene, right? Things can be so simplistic as that, but you can also be very creative in how you want to just put into the scene. There's story behind it, or if you just want to watch hot passion sex, boom, it goes into it. So there's so many different sides of how you view the scene. But for you, how important is creativity, man? Because you really get to expand the proverbial horizons.
It really just depends on my partner. So I absolutely love to be creative. I love to be different. I love to do that scene that's going to be like, oh my God, did they really just do that? That was so hot. Like, I mean, there's a few scenes that were just like, wow. And others, I don't do a whole lot of scripted things because I'm very much I'm a performer. I like to tell my story. Sure, I'll say a few cheesy lines, but in the beginning, but I like to show you my story. I like to perform it for you so you can feel from the beginning to the end, every moment that I'm going through. I want you to feel that. I want you to see that. And I want you to build on your own fantasy for that. Some people, I don't get to be more creative with it than I'd like, especially like big conventions when we're all trying to get together and schedule all these, you know, collaborations and stuff. Everybody's so busy, we don't always get to focus in on the creative aspects. But when I get a chance, you know, I change the lighting, change the scene, you know, and just kind of play it out for you so you can really, really feel it. You know, feel what I'm doing, like putting on for you.
Absolutely. It's the spontaneity factor. And I think evoking emotions and eliciting reactions. I always say this with people, like, if you're not evoking emotions or listening reactions and being spontaneous, because you have to be. I think that's how you live in the moment, and that's how you create moments and memories yet to be created. There's something for everybody. We mentioned the unique preference inside of things, but I think that's one of the most beautiful things in life, not just in the adult entertainment industry, but you don't know unless you go for it or you try, because you never know what you're going to be into. I mean, our teenage years, we start to really see what we like sexually. Then we get to our adult years, and we really evolve as people, as what we like and what we don't like. And we set the precedent of where we are in our sexual peaks and expanding our sexual horizons, so to speak.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that.
I think I'll be honest with you, as I've come into the age of going to be 34 next year. But when you like go into like your 30s and 40s, I think the DGAF meter gets up and it's just like, hey, man, let's just go for it. You know what I'm saying? It really is. I put in the bluntest of terms. It's like you don't give a fuck to be in the complete bluntest of terms. It's true.
Absolutely. You lose a little less of that give a shit factor as you go on, the older that you get. But that's what makes life great and a whole roller coaster of experiences.
Oh, absolutely. And I got to say, I'll put this into the forefront here because if y'all are not following this one on social media, I got to say, to put you over on the imagery standpoint, man, I got to tell you, some sexy photos, beautiful photos, Miss Amberly. But I got to say, always creative with like the little dresses that you wear. And there's one of you where you're just in front of like a book and it's like the sexy librarian kind of deal, man, where you're looking at the bookshelves, you throw a little Halloween into it. You do a lot of great elements with the imagery. I got to put you over there on that.
Thank you. I love that because I have a photographer that is semi-local to me that I work with whenever I get a chance. But for the most part, I'm a one-man band, so I am always taking pictures, and I love to take pictures of other people too. So that's how it makes it a little bit easier for me to, kind of dress whatever I'm trying to put forth up. So it makes it fun. I definitely enjoy that part. I love doing photos. I definitely do.
I think the best way I could describe it, and I say this again with the utmost sincerity and respect, it's a little bit of elegance, and it's a little bit of sexiness, it's a little bit of vibrancy, and it's a little bit of voluptuosity. So that I put those in together, and you have a hell of a photo, man. It checks the boxes.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. No, you have to have that. I think in life, like with even in photos and even in those scenes, it's all about being the RDSA, the real deal sex appeal, because you never know who you're going to appeal to and appeal as far as everything goes. And like you mentioned, the fan side of things, the community brings everyone together. One thing I got to mention to you because Exotica is coming up, and I got to ask you, how excited are you for Exotica to see so many people, network with people, great fans, even in attendance as well?
Oh, I'm so excited. This will be the third event that I've tried to actually attend. So I was in Exotica Chicago, but I didn't actually get to go to the expo. I was busy on the outside. And then we had FitCon that rolled around. I didn't get to go to the actual convention. I was busy again on the outside. But this time I have a booth. I'm working with some other people, have a whole booth, have a lot of fun stuff planned for that. So I made sure there was no way I was going to miss going into the convention to be able to just interact with everybody, not just be so focused on film, but just kind of have a good time. And I enjoy fan interaction. So like, I want you to come up and say, hey, and ask to take a picture. I enjoy that stuff. So it'll be great to be able to be in a space with all these other creators. And then of course, also with fans.
I think what's great about the creators and the fans and everybody in general when it comes to these events, they understand the mission. And what I mean by that is, you know what you're going to get because fans love the sexy side of things, but they also love the personal side of things. And I think also as well with how COVID hit and everything came from OnlyFans and ManyVids and Fanslies and loyal fans, I think it's brought a lot of the community together. And I think it works perfectly, not just business side, but to actually have that connection with fans on those set sites really makes it worthwhile. It's their own little personal experience, so to speak.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we got pretty boxed in there for a really long time where the computer was the only way we really communicated. Right. So I think to be honest, I think a lot of people are still recovering from that. I mean, I know I am. I'm still relearning how to, work around a lot of things and, being out there in the open and stuff. So
no, I feel you on that. I think even though it's been 5 years now, I mean, I'll even say this. COVID took a turn. Like I've always said this. Well, during that time, you had to be positively proactive if you can, because it's very tough. Like you're not allowed to go anywhere. You're shut down. Literally, you're stuck at home. So you have to find ways to be creative with it and find a way of even just accumulating money. It's one of those things too, where the popularity of that grew, but also at the same time too, even though you get to now be out in the open more, you're still being safe and spectacular. Like you mentioned, the importance of safety. I think that's so keen in everything. You set the boundaries, you set everything, man, and it makes for a hell of a time. And it works. It works hand in hand. It checks all the boxes, so to speak.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, I will say this, speaking of checking all the boxes, man, let's talk about another event you're going to be a part of. Booty versus Boobs 5. Let's talk about Pipewell Productions, man. Halloween's coming. I had Lexi Morgan on the show the last time. She was promoting the hell out of it. Lexi's going to be there and so many great people like Miss Amber Lee. So, Amber, how excited for you for this little spooky season action here?
Oh my gosh, I'm super stoked. First and foremost, I love to dance, and it goes down to performing. I love to perform, so it's giving me an opportunity to celebrate one of my favorite holidays, which happens to be Halloween. I get to dress up. I get to do even more interaction with fans. It's an up close and personal, interaction with your fans, a meet and greet. Ultimately, I'm gonna be around some amazingly sexy, vibrant women, and I'm totally stoked for that. I'm so excited. It's so much in one weekend.
Well, I think what's great about Halloween, I'll even equate it to like this when we talk about the creativity, like besides the trick or treating factor, like we did as kids, and even adults, like the candy side of things. Who doesn't love a good candy? But I mean, it's one of those things where you can dress how you want, you can feel it, you can feel the vibes. And I got to ask you, what can we expect from the costume side of things, man? There's the typical Scream. There's so many things. What are you thinking, man?
I have something. I definitely have something planned, and I don't want to give it away yet.
Okay.
Because it's gonna be hot. That's all I'm gonna say. It's gonna be very, very sexy. It's gonna be a twist on I don't know, all the great classics. I mean.
So what you're gonna give us is a smorgasbord of some of our favorite horror movies, is what you're saying.
I'm just I don't know if it's gonna be a smorgasbord, but it's definitely gonna be entertaining, sexy, and scary.
I like that. There's a hashtag right there. Hashtag sexy and scary. I like your style.
That's
yes.
right.
Well, I definitely look forward to seeing what that costume brings come Halloween. Y'all definitely need to check out the event. And I think that's even great too, because I think the best part about Halloween, like we mentioned, the creativity side, but also the fact that it gets to honor pop culture. I mean, it has the Day of the Dead really that goes into it and the history and significance. But I think anybody even look at cosplaying, like you get to dress as your superheroes and stuff. Like that's really cool for people to just showcase that external side and just be free and dressing up like their favorite pop culture, like their influences.
Oh, absolutely. I like to go to those conventions where I could dress up and do that stuff too. I might not be a specific character, but I will at least be a genre.
That's the important part of it. And I think what's great about today's day and age, and we touched upon the freak flag flying, but I mean, like you mentioned, the dancing side of things, you get to dance, you get to have fun, maybe add a little twerkage, as Cisco once sang, yeah, that thong, the thong, thong, thong going. There's a lot of things to feel the vibes with, man. It's all about the vibes.
Oh yes, and I'm a vibe alone, and I definitely hope that everybody that comes and hangs out and parties with us definitely can catch that vibe, and it just be an amazing, memorable time for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. And I think what's great about it too, and I'll say this about your style and aesthetic, which I love, Miss Amberly. I can't say that wholeheartedly, but it's one of those things, man. I think with the tats, with everything, the voluptuosity factor, you make, like you talk about being your own vibe. That's the style and aesthetic that makes it. So we appreciate the vibes, man.
Well, thank you. I try to be my own self.
I think it's Sly and the Family Stone once saying, "Thank you for letting me be myself again." So you're definitely being yourself, and we appreciate you for you. So yes, ma'am. All right, now you're very welcome. You're very welcome. So now let's talk about these fantastic scenes here, because if y'all have not checked out Amberly's scenes, man, hot, sexiness, vibes, voluptuosity. Let's start with some of these scenes here, Miss Amberly. Some of the best ones that I've really enjoyed of yours. Let's talk about these here. Livy Blaine, Venus Rising, Sexy Sammy. Oh my goodness gracious, man, on More Beautiful Women, internally and externally speaking, much like yourself. Talk about working with these women, because my God, hell of a time.
Oh my goodness. So I don't think I guess I did do a big scene with Libby Blaine, Sexy Sammy, all super great people. They themselves are a vibe, and I loved to be working with and next to those ladies. They're very strong-willed. They know what they're going after. They know what they want and how it's going to come out. And it was really an honor working with them. And Venus Rising too, her and her husband, Atlas, they were great. They were actually one of my first on film scenes, and we busted out 3 scenes in one night. And it was great. They were awesome people to work with. They were knowledgeable. They were respectful. It wasn't like walking into a smoke screen. You just really don't know what you're going to get. You know exactly what you're going to get. They just all amazing people. I would work with them anytime.
Look at it from a stance like this. What I love about your scenes, and I say this I notice it from a lot of the great people that I get to see, to watch and interview on this show. The passion is in there, both physically as well as mentally. And I look at it from a stance like this. You could tell you love what you're doing, and that really evokes people, and people gravitate towards stuff like that. So the women that you work with and you yourself, man, really put on a hell of a show, and it definitely does show within your works.
Oh, thank you. That was one thing I tried to keep very close to everything that I wanted to portray for people. I wanted to make sure that I kept everything organic. Now, granted, everything can't be as organic as I would like it, but I do my very best to make sure that, you know, you can see and feel everything that I'm going through, like seeing and feeling. So if I'm not giving you that passion, or if you can't, I'm doing something wrong.
I think that's the best part, man. I think authenticity definitely is key in anything that you do, and the accommodation, comfortability, and confidence. And I got to say that I think I admire women like yourself, women like Sammy, women like Venus. It's because I think the confidence shows. It's just like, hey, man, because a lot of there are people that are a little timid and shy, that to be naked in front of a camera, just even do camming and stuff like that. But I think with women like yourself, man, you get to show that confidence. You get to exist to inspire, so to speak. So you're bringing people together in a very fun and good way. So that is definitely something to think about.
I mean, we came in this world naked, so I mean, it's okay to be naked.
True. This is true. Very, very true. Very true. But yeah, you know, I mean,
exactly what I tell people, because like, it runs in the family. Like, I'm like, clothing optional. If I could do clothing optional, we're doing good, because I just like to be in my natural form, I guess.
I can definitely respect that. I think not only is that free and everything, but I also think that definitely works to one's not only sexy side and vibes and overall qualities and traits, but I think that does help just really to add more confidence to people. Because at the end of the day, if you really think about it, it's the human body. It's what it is. It's all it is, the human body.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, you got to love yourself in all your naturalness, or nobody else is going to love you. Absolutely. So it starts with you.
Absolutely. As the great Blackstreet once sang, curves the word, spin the verb, man. No diggity, no doubt. Taking it back to 96. So it works. It's prominence, man. It's prominence. Oh, my goodness. Right. So another talent we have to put over that you work with a lot. We got to talk about our boy Stax here, because you and Stax, another one, great chemistry on camera. Stax has been doing his thing as well. Talk about working with that man, because my goodness, y'all turned up the heat.
Oh my goodness, yes. He really is a joy to work with. He knows his stuff. He knows the business side, the inside and out. It's a no fuss, no muss kind of situation. And when we first worked with each other, and then we like spun it back and like watched it, was like we already knew the chemistry was there. We could catch it, and we knew it was going to be something before we even put it out there. So it was like, well, let's just, if we got it, we're going to keep on working with it. So we both are very creative in the ideas. He knows what he wants to do. If I have an idea, I just got to spit it out. And then he's usually like, okay, let's do it. That you might have something there. But like I said, he's very business acclimated, and he's great. If he thinks it's not going to work, he's not going to like fluff you. He's not going to just candy coat things and just to make you feel good. If it doesn't work, he's going to tell you. He's going to tell you how it is. But it's been a joy. We've done quite a bit outside of the box things that just I've had a lot of compliments on, and I'll take it, and I'll produce it as long as possible.
Well, I will say this. I mean, seeing his work and yours respectively and collaboratively, I look at it from a stance like this. You both make the most of your time because time is of the essence, and the time that you put into the films and the time that you build that connection with someone, like we mentioned on screen and off screen, it definitely shows. And I think the time and the connection and the essence of it really does work. So y'all really turned up the heat in that. I got to say, really enjoyed those scenes thoroughly.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, man. It's the sex appeal side, and it's definitely the overall raw passion that brings everybody together. And we love it. Like we mentioned earlier, the freak flag's fine. And speaking of some freaks and just overall awesomeness, as the great Houdini once sang, the freaks come out at night. Let's talk about another one who just really is the antithesis of that. Let's talk about Pixie, because you and Pixie, man, great on camera together, great outside. Another cutie beauty in her own right. Talk about working with Pixie, man.
I met her in the very beginning of everything that I did, and I absolutely love and respect her so very, very much. She happens to be probably one of my closest persons in my life, content wise and outside. She is an amazing person to work with. I was able to go, okay, this is our scene. This is kind of the idea we have with it, and we literally can bounce ideas off of each other, and they end up just flowing so well. She is so smart. She is just so smart, and she is down for so much, and that for me is great. Because when you haven't, I guess, filmed a lot of the crazy stuff, and she's like, yeah, let's do the crazy stuff. I'm like, yes. So she is definitely up there. I love her to pieces. She's a very great person, very great on camera.
There's an old saying, and it's called dare to defy. And I think with how she views her mindset, she dares to defy all obstacles and anything and everything. And I think that builds up a lot of tact. It builds up a lot of discipline, and it really gives you strength just to go outside the box, outside the norm, so to speak. So I think even with herself and you two on camera, it definitely shows. And I think sometimes we need to get a little crazy, so to speak. Like Seal once sang, you're never going to survive unless we get a little crazy. So I mean, some crazy is a good thing. Let's get crazy.
Yes, and she definitely she's definitely a role with it, and she is very strict in the way that she thinks. She can see the good and the bad and the ugly and everything before anybody else can. So she's definitely somebody good to have in your corner. And she's helped me through a lot of stuff. She's educated me on a lot of things. So she's been a great partner in crime for sure.
But that's the great part about it too. It's women's intuition, the intuitiveness. I mean, I've always said this as well, because we talked about misconceptions earlier, and we always talked about scenes and everything and how people view adult entertainment industry still, even though a lot of more has become more equal and open-minded. But I've always said this. I think a lot of people, when they see people that get into the adult entertainment industry, they think they're just some uneducated people that just want to have sex. It's like, no, if you really look at the brass tacks, a lot of these women are college educated. They're going for other businesses while they're also doing this. You never stop learning. The mind grows. It's all about adaptation, not just in life, but within the industry. You're constantly going. The grind is there, and you constantly pick up new things.
Absolutely.
That's how you have to look at it, man. And I really respect a lot of women, much like yourself, that are constantly on the grind and learning. And it really does show your intuitiveness. And that is definitely something to admire and really gravitate towards. And I think that is beautiful, much like yourself. And before we do close this thing out, ma'am, I got to say, Amber Lee, I love talking to you. I love picking your brain. You're such a vibrant light in this adult entertainment industry. I'd love to have you back for a round two. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Now, I will say this before we do close this out. We talked about pearls of wisdom as well, and that's one of the things I love, because I mentioned existing to inspire. One of the best things in life is being the best representation of your presentation, representing yourself well, presenting yourself well. And for you, two-parter here. What are some of the things that you're grateful for, thus being in the adult entertainment industry and everything you've learned so far? And what's some advice that you would give to people who are pursuing or want to gravitate towards the adult entertainment side of things?
I am grateful for almost everybody that I've come in contact with on my journey through. I've had some bad eggs in there, but that's in anything you do in life. So I've experienced. I literally came into the industry backwards. I went to LA. I walked on a mainstream set. I was a supporting actress. I didn't even take my clothes off, but I was a supporting actress in a mainstream movie. I walked the red carpets, and then I started filming. It was like I came out backwards, but in that journey, I was able to see all the things that nobody really gets to see. They just watch the movie. They just catch the clip, look at the scene, whatever. I was able to see the business aspect of it, all of that prior to. And I will always be grateful of the person that took me on that journey, that helped me through this, and everybody, everybody thus far that I have come in contact with. It kind of still sticks it out. All the great content performers that I work with previously and continue to work with. So that's what I'm grateful for. And as far as like words of wisdom, like things I tell people, things I think are really important for people to know coming into the industry. First and foremost, you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. What we put out is what we're selling. So you need to be mindful of what you're putting out there. Try to always keep it positive. Also, this isn't dating. This is not the date. You're not dating. You're trying to create something. So put your time and energy in creating something beautiful, something that want to last for however long you want it to last. You want to be memorable. So carry yourself like that.
Beautifully and eloquently said. And I like how you put that into the ideas of just like it's not dating, because at the end of the day, it's very true. I mean, you get to work with a lot of great partners and a lot of great people. And like you mentioned, there's going to be bad eggs along the way. That's with anything in life. But at the end of the day, too, you have to treat it as like, hey, man, it's a collaborative effort. Let's do what we do on the screen and whatnot. But it's just like, you know what? It's not like, hey, this is not like Plenty of Fish, so to speak. It's not like Tinder. It's not like an app. You have to treat it as such.
Yes. That's so true.
It is. And I think that's one of the common misconceptions. And you see this, and I'll say this. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you ladies have gotten the unsolicited DMs, so to speak, because they just think, oh, they're in this field. So you know what? Let me, to put in the bluntest of terms, rock out, whip my cock out. So it's just like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like these, again, we're all human beings at the end of the day. And it's a respectful brand. You respect that person's brand and them as a whole, man. You don't just go, here it is. Boom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the respect thing people lose along the way. And I find that, actually, to be honest, I find it with a lot more younger creators, because it's like they were brought up in a different time. They were raised with different mannerisms. So respect is a big thing. Respect yourself first and foremost, so that way you can give other people's respect. Of course, respect is always earned. But if you're out the gate and you're disrespectful and you're sliding in those DMs and you're bossing people and you're telling people how it is and you're just overall being a negative person and being, nasty and disrespectful, that's what you're going to get back, and you don't want that. So try to keep it positive and respectful, for sure.
Absolutely. Positive, respectful, and professional. The PRP, if you will. Positive, respect, and professional. And
there you go.
And I will say this, you certainly exude and accentuate that, Miss Amberly. And before we close this out, where can we follow you on the social medias, ma'am? The floor is yours. Please feel free to promote.
You can follow me on Twitter. You can hit my link tree. It's in my bio. It takes you to all my sites. I have many vids. I have Fab House. I'm on OnlyFans. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm a little bit of everywhere.
Well, the links will be in the description, so you can be here, there, and everywhere and follow this amazing content creator right here as my guest here on this fine program. And I will say this, we did mention your scenes and many great people you work with. I do have to put this over as well before we do the final plugs. You also have hell of solo scenes, man. The solo scenes are also there as well, the passion, everything. I got to put you to the forefront on that, man. You put a hell of a killer solo out there.
Thank you.
You definitely do showcase the fun and aspect of that. I mean, that's another great element to your character and your scenes. The solo stuff really does hit the mark on everything. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. It definitely shows the raw and passion things. And that's another thing that a lot of us are into in so many different things in life and so many different genres and categories within the adult entertainment industry. And if you want to follow yours truly, it's SM Show on MCL92 on Twitter, Larkin_92 and MLarkinMB on Instagram. And of course, the S&M Network shows to describe to see a lot of great interviews, including this one that you're going to see very, very soon. And Miss Amber Lee, do you have any final words to the peeps, to the fans, to the people?
Stay true and stay you and have fun doing it.
Hell yes, I like your style. I love the vibes, love the aura, and it definitely exudes and accentuate that. So for Amber Lee, my name is Mike Larkin. Always remember, life is an art form and we're all applying our crafts. Continue to apply your craft in amazing fashion. And as I always send each and every one of these shows, beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Miss Amber Lee, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.